evening, live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. Here is 7 o'clock news bulletin. But first, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, the Supreme Commander, confers medals of excellent service and royal commendation on a number of officers, non-commissioned officers and individuals at the Ministry of Defense, Sultan's Armed Forces and the Royal Guard of Oman. His Majesty Sultan receives a written message from the heir apparent of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces of the United Arab Emirates. His Majesty sends a cabal of greetings to His Excellency, the President of Ghana, on his country's independence anniversary. And the Royal Camel Corps wins the Golden Khanjar and Sword Awards in the final annual camel race held by the Oman Camel Race Federation. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, the Supreme Commander, conferred medals of excellent service and royal commendation on a number of officers, non-commissioned officers and individuals at the Ministry of Defense, Sultan's Armed Forces and Royal Guard of Oman. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harb Al Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs at Bayt al-Falaj camp, where he pinned them the medals of excellent service and royal tribute in appreciation to their sincerity in serving their country and their dedication in performing their national sacred duty. The meeting was attended by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, Commander of the Royal Army of Oman, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, Commander of the Royal Guard of Oman, and the Commander of National Defense College. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo of the Republic of Ghana on his country's independence anniversary. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received a written message from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, heir apparent of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces of the United Arab Emirates. The message was handed to His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal bin Saud Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, when he received in his office this morning His Excellency Mohammed bin Sultan Al Suwaidi, United Arab Emirates Ambassador accredited to the Sultanate. During the meeting, cordial talks were exchanged and the bilateral relations between the two countries and means of enhancing them to serve the interest of the Omani and Emirati people were reviewed. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Excellency Nasser bin Hamoud Al Kindi, Secretary General of the Royal Court Affairs, attended the final annual camel race held by Oman Camel Race Federation in the recourse in the Wilayat of Sohar. The Royal Camel Corps has won the Golden Khanjar Award for Athanaya competition and the Golden Sword Award in Al-Hul Camel competition. Mayasa and Barzaman camels owned by Hamad bin Muhammad Al-Wahabi won the Silver Camel competitions. During competition, Omani traditional songs and dances were performed and exhibition on Omani handicrafts was organized in the Heritage Village. At the end of the race, His Excellency Nasser bin Hamoud Al Kindi, Secretary General of the Royal Court Affairs, awarded the winners of all rounds. In implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Sultanate of Oman and the Republic of Belarus in the field of cultural and museum works, the National Museum organized the exhibition Patterns and Symbols, a heritage of Belarusian ornament. The exhibition was held under the patronage of Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed Al-Shaybaniya, Minister of Education and Deputy Chairman of the National Museum Board of Trustees. The inauguration ceremony was attended by a Belarusian delegation headed by His Excellency Yuri Bondar Belarusian, Minister of Culture. The exhibition highlights Belarusian ornaments of historical and cultural value embodying human thoughts and the cycle of life in Belarusia. The exhibition has unrevealed museum artifacts for the first time in the Middle East, as well as handicrafts made by Belarusian people. The exhibition will remain open for public until May 31st. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq stressed, among other things, his keenness to listen to the youth and work on fulfilling their needs, interests and aspirations in realization of their roles in building the country. In his speech to the nation, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq describes the youth as the treasure of nations, their inexhaustible sources that build and the future of the nation. His Majesty Sultan Haytham promised that the youth needs, interests and aspirations will receive the attention they deserve. His Majesty Sultan Haytham reiterated that the new stage will require endeavor from the youth to transform the country to the level that everyone aspires to. This trust and encouraging words from His Majesty the Sultan put the youth and everyone else in one path of building this inclusive nation. To protect the youth future, His Majesty has passed royal instructions to establish a job security fund to make the private sector employment more secure, stable and appealing to national job seekers. In his speech, His Majesty pointed to the importance of education sector at all levels and to provide a supportive environment for education, research and innovation, which will become among Oman's national priorities. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has established the foundations for the new stage of Oman's renaissance with his keenness to restructuring the state administrative apparatus, adopting the principle of transparency and reviewing national laws and regulations. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and yet to come in our news bulletin, an animated artistic light show with famous artist works projected on walls of Paris Gallery in France. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Minister of Health conducted a number of precautionary measures regarding coronavirus, including the activation of call center for the ministry on 24 hours basis to receive reports about the virus. It also allocated new hotlines in all governorates to communicate with citizens and residents on the disease. The number of employees at the call center who receives calls amounted to 10 to 15 employees. They responded to the calls from the public and educate them on symptoms of coronavirus. They also instruct those who came from affected areas about home quarantine. The call center also plays other roles in raising health awareness among the public about other health issues and receives suggestions about different public health issues. The Staff Command at Sultan's Armed Forces organized an awareness lecture on the new coronavirus. It was conducted in cooperation with the Media Service of Armed Forces and the Ministry of Health. It discussed ways to limit the spread of the virus and its symptoms. It also dealt with the coordination and follow-up mechanisms with various health establishments in the country regarding latest development of coronavirus. The lecture came as part of the exerted efforts to contain the effects of the new coronavirus in the Sultanate. The Public Authority for Civil Defense and Ambulance conducted a joint training with the state of Qatar in the field of search and rescue. It came as part of joint cooperation among members of International Search and Rescue Advisory Group. The training came to raise the preparedness of search and rescue teams in both countries to face risks and accidents and limit their impacts. They exchanged expertise in the field through working together in achieving the goals of the joint training. The medical and public health response sector in the Ministry of Health held its second meeting to discuss developments in the COVID-19 virus. The meeting was headed by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health. More details in the following report. The medical and public health response sector convened today its second meeting to highlight updates of novel coronavirus at the Ministry of Health's headquarters with the presence of His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health. The meeting reviewed the coordination of COVID-19 preparedness and response efforts, making emphasis on increasing the coordination among various health sectors. It further stressed the necessary of focusing and on educating those who were advised of quarantine and to confirm their adherence to its controls and avoidance of accessing to public places. The sector calls upon citizens and residents to maintain regular hand washing with soap and water and avoid touching the face, especially the nose and eyes, in addition to following healthy habits when sneezing and coughing.
There is a lot of effort being done by the medical sectors and so many sectors outside the medical providers. Our concentration is on the individuals who've been advised for quarantine and isolation. If we invest in that, and if people adhere to the guidelines and to the instructions given by the ministry, then we can expect a lot of results, inshallah. We can decrease the number of cases, and we can have very good results for the future.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Health announces the registration of one new confirmed case with novel coronavirus COVID-19 for citizens linked to traveling to Italy. His condition is stable and he is under quarantine. This brings the total number of COVID-19 cases registered in the Sultanate to 16, in which 15 cases are travel related to Iran and 1 to Italy. The ministry reaffirms that 2 cases have completely recovered while the others are in stable health conditions. Minister of Health calls upon all to adhere to quarantine procedures as instructed and avoid public and worship places. And now all the way to France. Moving paintings of various artists, including Claude Monet, Auguste Renoir and Marc Chagall, are being projected on the walls of Paris Gallery for immersive art exhibition. The paintings are showcased in an animated artistic light show.
The brush strokes of legendary artists such as Claude Monet and Auguste Renoir came to life in an immersive art show in Paris. The exhibition at Paris's Atelier des Lumières Gallery, titled Journeys Around the Mediterranean, features around 500 paintings by 20 artists, many of them impressionists, who were inspired by the sun-kissed colors of the Mediterranean region. The paintings are projected on the gallery walls of a 3,300 square meter space, with animated elements making for an artistic light show set to classical and jazz tunes.
It is an exhibit that brings us from Impressionist paintings to modern paintings on the beaches of the Mediterranean, where the colors of the sea, of the sky, the ochre colors of villages have greatly inspired painters between around 1880 and 1970.
Bruno Monnier, the founder of Culture Space, which manages the gallery, said the railway boom in France during the late 80s allowed Impressionists to seek new inspiration away from Normandy and Paris and further south. It's Monet who goes south and moves to Bordighera in Italy, and Renoir also follows him, Monnier said. A whole series of artists did the same for half a century. Go south and discover the intense light that they did not know in Normandy or in the Parisian region. The exhibition gives dynamism to Monet's Water Lilies series and Renoir's Dance at the Moulin de la Galette. And also plays with pieces from other artists such as Marc Chagall, Henri Matisse and Camel Pissarro.
Digital opens a new way for us that allows for these types of extraordinary exhibitions in which we can present 500 paintings normally scattered around the world, in which we can present around 20 artists. And as you can see, this is an artistic piece on its own, which mixes music and images. It's not just a diorama with a series of images appearing one after the other. It's a veritable creation around the pieces of these artists, and it's something that reaches a very large public.
Paintings in the Water Lilies series, for instance, are housed in museums in various countries, such as the United States, Scotland, Japan and Egypt, while the Dance at the Moulin de la Galette hangs at Paris's Musée d'Orsay. The exhibition opened to the public since February 28.
You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, the Supreme Commander, conferred medals of excellent services and royal commendation on a number of officers, non-commissioned officers and individuals at the Ministry of Defense, Sultan's Armed Forces and Royal Guard of Oman. His Majesty the Sultan receives a written message from from their apparent of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces of the United Arab Emirates. His Majesty sends a cabal of greetings to His Excellency the President of Ghana on his country's independence anniversary. The Royal Camel Corps wins the Golden Khanjar and Sword Awards in the final annual camel race held by the Oman Camel Race Federation. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. Thank you for joining us and good night.